what was your recruitment process like in high school with, football?
Oh man, so yeah, the recruiting process was pretty wild. I mean, and it was different for me. So a lot of guys, they go on a ton of visits during the season. At my high school, we had a goal of winning the state championship. That was all we wanted to do. And pretty much the coaches said, look, you're not going, no one goes on any visits, any official visits until the season's over. And so a lot of schools, wanted me to come on official visits, and they didn't really love that I was saying, "Hey, I can't do it until after the state championship," which I believe on the calendar was December 15th. So really, it meant that I'd be coming to visit them in January, most likely, and that kind of just throws a whole wrench in their recruiting process and their schedule because they want to have these guys locked down sooner.
Mhm.
So I had schools, well, Nebraska's not that good now, but schools like Nebraska and Texas A&M, who were, cream of the crop at the time, and just kind of said, look, we feel like, you don't see us as your number one, and we're going to move on. And I was like, well, look, number one is my high school. We want to win a championship, and if I do anything outside of what we're doing, that's a distraction, and I can't risk that. So Kentucky was one of the schools that just honored my request. They didn't like it either, to be honest. But they were more patient than the other schools.
Mhm.
And when I got to Kentucky, it was just a really, really cool experience. I saw snow for the first time. Our van like slid off the road and hit a fence, and they were all freaked out, and we just thought it was awesome because it's snow and like we didn't die. It was like a nice little fun trip.
Mhm.
Um, just like the people in Kentucky, they were so nice, and they reminded me of people in Texas. And I thought, yeah, I could see myself being in Kentucky. And there was another thing that happened, and if there's, I don't know if it's still happening, but a thing that turned me off about all the other schools that was recruiting. They would say, the one coach told me, son, if you don't come to our school, whatever you do, don't leave Texas. And I heard that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay. And then I heard another coach say it, and another coach from a different school, and a different school. All the coaches in Texas were saying the same thing. And I had this thought, like, I have got to get out of Texas.
Mhm.
If I don't leave Texas, I might never leave.
Mhm.
And Kentucky felt like a good fit. I went on that trip, and it was my first official visit. I actually went to see A&M beat Nebraska on an unofficial visit before that, but I just, I was like, yeah, sign me up. I want this. I want the challenge of helping to build a program that's not going so well. I like the challenge of the opportunity really to play as a freshman. It just was a really exciting thing for me. And and looking back on it, I'm really glad that I went to Kentucky, and I'm really proud of what we're doing now.
Mhm. And I'm glad you chose Kentucky, and you're not wrong. Kentucky is doing great so far, ranked number 8 in the country, going into week 4 of the season. So that's great.